So, we were really entranced by the idea of follow your story because everybody has stories. Everybody, you have stories. Everyone in this room has traveled, most likely. If you haven't traveled out of the city, even within this city, you have stories and adventures. And the idea is powerfully connecting people to this nostalgia, right? That's the big idea. And the best way to do that is to get people involved. Not just influencers, but people like you and me. Right? Individuals who can submit their stories to this website on YouTube and gain traction with not just your brand, but also just connecting people to this wonderful idea of travel. I don't know about you, but I have to travel at least once a year. I get antsy. I have to. Why? Because I love seeing new people. I love going to new places, learning new languages, learning new phrases, and that's what we want to tap into. We really didn't get a chance to go too much into creative. We kind of focused, on like the whole big picture, but we really feel that this idea can spin out into so many different tactics because at the end of the day, we all follow our story.
Okay, so we're Circa, and so Air Europa is a great airline. It's relatively unknown in the US, but it does something really well, which is it takes people from the US to Spain. So that's our big idea, to brand it as something that brings people from the United States to Spain and that they are the best at doing that. So by taking Spanish culture and taking that identity and merging it with an airline that goes to Spain, we're merging the thought of Spain in people's head with Air Europa. That's it.
So I'm representing Coles here, and we did our target audience from 18 to 34. We created several personas, and you can have so many different personas within a flight, and we noticed that one thing they all had in common, regardless of their background, they compromise when they're flying, especially in coach. This means that they're put in some absurd situations. They become knee huggers, they're boxers, they're jugglers, limbo dancers, which they shouldn't be. And Air Europa comes here in order to challenge how international flights work and to put people away from these absurd situations. So we came up with the big idea of fly Air Europa, any other way is absurd.
So mine will be a story. The first time I ever traveled, I was 8 years old, and I really didn't care about the destination. It was the plane trip for me. I liked the idea of sitting next to the window seat and seeing the plane take off as the ground disappeared from me. And the experience had a magical feel to it. I don't know how many of you traveled for the first time and felt this way. The journey was the trip for me. And what our campaign tried to do was remind people that as much as flying has become mundane and has become the daily thing to do or the experience that doesn't need to stand out anymore, our brand and our business decided to highlight that again and give people the chance to see traveling as an experience worth paying attention to. And that's why we came up with the hashtag Little Things Count. And hopefully that helps win for us. All right, thanks everybody.
Oh, hey, do you want to hear a story? We're Europa, we fly.
Let me tell you, it was very difficult. It was very difficult to make a final decision here. Our numbers were very close to each other. And one of the things that we have asked Professor de los Reyes to do is to send us a list of all of your names, because not only has Juan Jose identified 2 or 3 that he probably is going to reach out to you. I know some agencies that are looking for folks like what I saw here today, a tremendous amount of talent. We were very impressed with the talent that you showed with your thinking, with your insights. Europa and the client is going to take away a lot of very good information. But then when we sat down, we all had to come up with a first choice, right? And it is not easy. This is what you did today is very similar to what goes on in real life when a client needs to select one agency. They can't select two agencies, so you end up having 5 final agencies pitching for an account. And when everybody leaves and your team is trying to decide who is it that we're going to choose, you many times say, gosh, I wish I could choose one player from one team, another player from another team, that I could choose a strategy from this group and the creative from this other side and the execution from this side. It is really very tough to come up with a final. So the one thing I want to say is that, what I want to do is give you all, you should all give yourself a hand, because you did great, right? You did great. And for professionals like ourselves to have such a hard time choosing a team is tough. So you guys are sitting there, praying, okay, who was it? Okay. I don't want to go with number 5 and number 4, so let me just go to the winner. We felt that the one that had perhaps a little better overall strategy in the area of the creative was Cerca, and we gave it to Cerca. But now, I know that the rest of you feel, somewhat like, oh my God, deflated completely. You guys should all know that we were very impressed. And so you're going to be hearing from us in one way or another. Maybe you don't get a trip to Spain, but you may end up getting a job. So thank you to all of you. You've done a fantastic job, and congratulations.